Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. A different rendition. We've been hammering out knife reviews and demonstrations and use videos, and they just get better and better, don't they? Huh? It's the Christmas season, and what can I say? I'm kind of like the Santa Claus of the knife world, bringing you phenomenal content. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about this. And then we're going to talk about this. And then I'm going to touch on this. Let's see what else we got around here we can talk about. Captain America Tomahawk. We'll chat with that. I got a sweater that I want to show you, but I can't until it gets gifted. Last but not least, we're going to talk about this. And I'm going to save this for last because the analytics show y'all watch about 2 or 3 minutes and turn it off. And I'm going to save this for about minute 8 or 9 when I know nobody's watching because I'll probably lose some more subscribers. I've actually already lost a couple over this and a Patreon. And, I'd like to say it's more them than me, so I will. We might talk about this a little bit, but here's the deal, guys. Here's the thing. This channel, man, I do this because I love doing it. I really do. And I've been an addict all my life. So, if I'm not addicted to meth or crack or cocaine, well, then we're going to do knives. It's just what we do. I've been clean for 3.5 years from the other, no crack. But the knife addiction's always been there. It keeps my mind moving. It keeps my hands moving. And honestly, it keeps me kind of centered and kind of focused and kind of level-headed. It also makes me goal-oriented. We're not talking about none of that shit. This is an MK5 dive knife. Now, that's not the correct name or the technical name for this knife, but this knife is a diver's knife. Remember that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr., Men of Honor, with him and De Niro? That's probably wrong, but me and my dad went to see that movie. But the guys who wear the Bell diving hats, this is or was one of their official knives. Now, this was sent to the channel for kind of a review, go over, and just kind of a, hey, show this. Let me say this. We have a lot of military guys who watch this channel and gals. I don't know how many gals, but I like throwing that in. We're pretty hip. The analytics show, I think it's 0.5%, so, But the thing is this. A lot of military folks watch this channel, and I am honored. I really am, because here's the deal. We have our causes, which 22 a day, and we're going to do that in a minute. But I'm always honored to have a lot of military folks. I just really am. Some of those military folks have seen combat. Some have not. Some have been in special forces, some conventional, all kinds of folks. This particular knife was gifted to a gentleman who was part of the teams on his retirement. Now, let me say this. I don't mention a lot what people do, and we don't throw that out there bragging. But I will tell you, I know for a fact we have a couple of Green Berets. We have several former Rangers. We have some SEALs, Marines, Special Forces across the board. I know I do the local yokel thing and the all shucks thing, but here's the truth. I verify who does what for my own peace of mind, okay? We're not going to have any kind of controversy, any kind of stolen valor, and I say all that to say this is an authentic piece. Now, my guy, Ricky Ricardo, who is not just a friend to the channel, but he is a personal friend, a personal brother of mine and Megatron's. One of his brothers in arms sent this to him so I could check it out, and I am forever appreciative. Let me show you a couple things. Now, this is going to have its own video, and we're going to talk about it, but one of the things the most unique thing about this, now, I've heard all the jokes, and I get it, but here's the deal. Guys, y'all would not believe how heavy this is, and when we do the full review, I'm going to give you the weight, specs, things like that. Now, we're not using this one because this was kind of a retirement gift that goes on a plaque. But I do want to cover it because I want to start like a series of military knives. I get a lot of folks asking, hey, can we send this? Can we? And I'm somewhat apprehensive, but I think I'm going to do some of that. Now, on those reviews, we're not going to beat them up. We're not going to beat the hell out of them. We're not going to break them. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to appreciate them. They won't be long videos, but tell you the history. I love history, and go on. The thing about this was designed in 1912 or 1913. I'll give you all the details. There is an Italian dive knife that this gets confused for sometimes. It is not the same knife at all. I looked it up. I took the time. The Italian model came out, I believe, in 1950. This is a different model. Several companies made them, but we'll cover all that. But look at that. It's got a saw back. You see that? Regular edge. It screws in. It's threaded. You can see that. Again, the weight of this thing is just insane. What I read so far, now I'm also going to do something different with this in that I'm going to research it as much as I can. I'm not trying to be vague on purpose. I don't like putting misinformation out there. I just don't like doing that because everybody on the internet, Timmy typers are out there, and I'm like, we'll cover all that. But they went to the screw in instead of the friction so you wouldn't lose your knife. Your knife doesn't end up on the bottom of the ocean floor. Obviously, this was not a fighting knife. You could use it for such. It has a spear point, sharp edge, all that. But this is a tool, a Navy diving tool, and I am forever appreciative, and we're going to hammer it in. That's coming up. One couple I want to show you real quick, and we're going to move through. This is a sax that was sent to me by Jason Palmer. Jason actually made this. He said, brother, I said, what can I do? What can I do? He said, do whatever you want. If it breaks, it breaks. Now, I'm going to put it through some stuff. It's sharp as shit. Let me give you this. This was one of his, might be one of the first ones he's made. Jason's a great dude. I don't know how much he follows on YouTube. I know he's over on Instagram a good bit. I would assume the same over here because why not? But he made this. He said, brother, can I send it? Now, I'm sending this back, okay? This was one of the first ones he made. He did a phenomenal job. It feels really good in hand. I'll give you all the details on that. We are going to do a use review. I am a huge sax fan. I just love it. They found this particular blade shape model, whatever. And a lot of people say, well, it used to be a broken sword. Maybe it was. I don't know. There's no real confirmation on that. I've heard that my whole life. I don't know that to be true. I don't know it to be false. But the sax gets equated some with the Vikings, more so with the Saxons. That's what it's named after. But they have found these as far back as 5th century Frankish graves. So you're talking about 1,500 years, probably really farther back than that of use. And it's a gorgeous blade. You see the hammer marks back there. And again, this was, I think, one of the first ones he made. He did a phenomenal job. The handle, Kydex sheath, tracker style. Antiquity meets modern. I like it. The other thing Jason sent me, and he sent me to keep, and I love this, love this, love this. My Captain America Tomahawk. Now, he modified a cold steel, I believe, the Trailhawk. I always screw that up. But what he did was he actually, you can see, there are grooves in the handle, so you get good grip. We put a grenade pin down there, and then we get up into the red, white, and blue. The stars are high up. And then, of course, Jason might, and I'm going to ask him, he might have added that hammer pole. I have 2 cold steel axes just like this. The base is just like this. I don't remember that. I think Jason did that himself with the hammer pole. And then, of course, the edge. And the thing I like about this is more of a fighter. But here's the thing. When it comes to a Tomahawk, look at that edge. I really, and my eyes floating bad. I'm tired, guys. Work today and going to have to work tomorrow. When it comes to Tomahawks, and I might take mine out and start a Tomahawk series, put in the comments if y'all want to see that. That does 2 things. 1, it lets me know you watched this far. And 2, it gives me some ideas. We had a Tomahawk-a-palooza a couple years ago, and it went really well. But this style Tomahawk, I like all styles. Y'all know that. That's the difference with my channel. See, there's channels that like whittle knives, and they want to bash big knives, and there's sword guys. I don't understand big knives. Well, Nobody understands why the hell you walk around with a sword. I love it all. I've got swords, little knives, big knives, tomahawks. This is my favorite, and I think just because it's light, it's fast, and it hits insanely hard. And of course, the good old US of A, you can't beat that. So that's coming up. Drop the pin. If it was a grenade, I'd be dead. Much to the joy of many, I might add. The V44X, Marine Raider Bowie knife. Isn't that dope? There was a drop tonight, and it sold out like super stupid quick. Let me say this, guys. I say this a lot. Work Tough Gear. I don't make a dime off of them. They send me knives to review. I am forever appreciative of that. And people say, well, they sponsor. They don't sponsor me. I don't make a dime off their knives. I'm going to get to this one in a minute. I do want to say this. I am forever appreciative. And if anything, the Work Tough Gear stuff, see, you have to look at it like this. You have to be somewhat business-minded. I know there are those who levitate above the rest of us, and they do this for the love. I do it for the love, for the people. Yeah, okay. I'm sure you do. I do too. If I didn't love it, my fat ass wouldn't be on here 7 days a week pumping out content like I don't have a real job that I work 60 hours a week at. We all love it. We get it. It's okay to want to do a business, and it's okay not to, right? Listen, it's okay. Reese at Well Regulated designed this. This is his design. It doesn't mimic or copy the Pouzon. I'm tired of hearing that. And the way Reese has been treated is really, I don't want to cuss because my mama watches some of these, but it's a fucking embarrassment how Reese has been treated. Don't really care if there's blowback on that. I don't say anything in the groups because that's not my house. This is my house, and I'll say it. Reese is a good dude and a good friend. And anybody who would get upset that the man, a former Marine, came up with a Marine Raider Bowie design, or say he copied something, are you slow? The Bowie knife is the most copied knife in American history. Type in Bowie knife when we get off here. And you can get mad at that, you can get glad, I don't care. Every now and then, old Scabber has a conscience, and I'm a lot of things, and I'm as loyal to Vic Lynn as I can ever be. So guys, for those of you who want to take shots at Reese, you're not taking them just at Reese, you're taking them at Vic. And I take great offense to that. That's my sermonette. And I just talked to Vic through message Friday night, and you say, well, Scab, that could cost you. Well, then it costs me. I ain't hurting for shit to review. But when it's wrong, and I'm tired of it. Much as self-righteous. I'm going to move on before I really say something. I love Vic Lynn, and I love Work Tough Gear, and I love the vast majority who support it. But I do want to say, to Reese, man, I think you're a good dude. I love the design, and I am sorry for the way you've been treated. There's that. Now, while I'm on a roll, let me bring up this. The K-bar, the fighting knife. I know Hansel and Gretel over there broke them. I know y'all figure it out pretty soon who's behind what. But here's what I want to say about this. There's more regurgitated information on this knife on the internet than any other knife on the planet. Here's the truth of this knife. And anytime you say something to, I've seen one broke on that, so what? It's a design. It's not a design flaw. This knife's 140, 50 years old. Well, this knife isn't, but the design is older than time immemorial. This knife started off as a hunting knife. And then it was adopted by the Marine Corps by a ton of other companies like Camillus and on and on and on. The thing is this, the way this is heat treated, it's heat treated down to the tang where it will bend, okay? When they do any other kind of steel, magna cut or whatever, they have to treat it all the way through. It's going to break. My thing is this, I am not saying this is a survival knife. Neither are they. I'm not saying this is a great, phenomenal knife. But it ain't a shitty knife. It's just not. We live in a day and an age where everything has to be a damn 1/4 inch thick, a sharpened pry bar. And I love my sharpened pry bars. I love them. I do. But there ain't nothing wrong with that knife. If you use that knife for what it said, well, Scab, it just won't hold. Yes, I've used this knife. Look at it. I've used it. Ever since that bullshit started. See, the one thing you're not going to hear, and whether you like me or you hate me or you don't, I can't help that. I'm not going to say I don't care. Sure, I care. We're trying to build a channel. We're trying to build community. But the thing is this, guys. Stop every now and then and just kind of pay attention to what's going on, and you'll start to see things. Again, probably the technology has probably passed this knife by. You know, we have better designs. Sure. Make up your own mind on it. I've had a K-bar since I was 12, 13 years old. I will always have one of these knives. I've bent them. I've broke the tips off of them. I've thrown, but I've done that because I beat the shit out of them, throwing them everywhere. Would I take this knife with me? If this is the only knife I had with me, for everybody who loves the whole, well, you know, if you're driving along and go off the side of a cliff and all you got is your underwear and your knife. If I got this knife, I'm fine. I'm going to sharpen it up. I'm going to use it as a cutting tool. I'm not going to go try to baton a piece of knotty ass wood with a baseball bat. Just not going to do it. I'm going to use it for cutting. And here's if you just want the God's honest truth, you know all this knife really has to do? That's it. So, is it the greatest knife on earth? No, man. Would I like to say, I'd love to see him go full time. I would love to. Sure. But it's not the big piece of shit that everybody says it is. And by the way, let me just share this with you. We had John Stitt on Blade Talk with Scab and Joe and kind of talked to him about it, talked about the design and really picked his brain on camera and off camera. And can I tell you, they're selling more of these now than they ever have. Why? I think it's recognizable. I think it's name brand. I think that 1095 Crovan, which is an old steel that came, I think the formula was from Sharon Steel, and I'm talking about early 20th century. Early, right? Again, tons of history there. They sell more of these now than they ever have. Is it a knife, you know, I'd give Les Stroud to go on Survivor Man? No, come on, dude. Well, you know what? I take that back. I would exactly give this to Les Stroud, and he would come back with it. Because when you use a knife for its intended purpose, now, if you use it to stab people and you're not in the military, you're probably going to jail. That's my little caveat. I need to throw that in. But if this was the knife you had, a skilled knife person could make it work. Would you want another one? Yeah, I'm going to carry one of the billion other knives I got. But just between me and you, and again, guys, listen, if you post something and I respond, I'm not trying to be argumentative. Take it any way you want. I hope you don't take it that way. I'm just saying there are certain things, whether it's, you know, whoever breaking one or whoever running it down or whoever doing blah, 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 blah. Just bear in mind, not everything on YouTube is as it seems. Not everything's that bad. Not everything's that great. And I'm going to prove that coming up soon. That being said, after we've had such a happy-go-lucky talk, I got some shout-outs. Tim's School of Fish. Tim is an awesome dude, and I really meant to do this at the very beginning because I've run you all off by now. But Tim's School of Fish is a great channel, and he's having a huge giveaway. Go check him out. Heavy Set Tactical. I just sent the Dragoth and the Nomad Camp 12 from Work Tough Gear over to John. Great dude. Check him out. Saw Grunt. Just seen some of his shorts today. Good dude. Go check him out. There were others, and I'm sorry, but y'all know old Scab's tired. Listen, please, guys, when I say stuff, I mean it. And I'll stand on that energy. I want to get along, and I want to have community. Right's right and wrong's wrong. I'm not arguing with you over it. Not on my channel. Not anywhere. It's just how I feel. I love you. Listen, we've got to handle this business. We're having a knife making contest coming up soon. We put an announcement video out, me, Blackie, and Dakota. I will follow up that video mid next week. That being said, guys, there was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. They are. They just are. They're up, they're down, we're headed into the weekend. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you have a place here. Guys, I back the blue. It's a personal choice that I make. People don't understand it, and I am okay with that. These are my causes, things I believe in. How do you do it, Scabber? Well, I don't break the damn law anymore. Used to all the time. Well, I don't do it on purpose. And if I do, because I have, I accept responsibility. And finally, if you are an addict, just like we talked about up front, never quit quitting. Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend.